Well, hello. Hi. Uh, I didn't test any audio because I was busy fiddling with other stuff. This shit was giving me grief. It can you hear the game audio? I really hope the sound's okay on both ends, the mic and the game. I don't know. I should have tested it before, but OBS and the actual game window were giving me problems. I was like, this is what happens when you don't use your setup. You forget how to work it. So I hope everything's sounding okay for now. Okay. Um Let me just see here. Oh, I dropped the window. That's not gonna help. Okay. Hold on. Let me just increase it a little bit. I'll even put my mic up a little bit if that helps. Ugh. I hate these headphones. I hate them. They're uncomfortable, but they're all I have down here. Ugh. Okay. Okay. Adjusting sound for myself. Okay. So, yes, we can thank Noah for this game because he bought it for me today. Cuz we were talking about another game that I'm playing, and then this game got brought up. So, we're going to dive into the great Ace Attorney. I have played every single other Ace Attorney game except I did not complete like the original Apollo Justice. I still need to do that. I ended up losing the cartridge in the middle of like me playing it, and then I gave up on finishing it even when I found it like months later. So, and I'm like horrendously stupid when it comes to these games. Oh god. Okay. Move my mouse out of the way.
The Empire of Japan. After opening its doors, a push for cultural transformation brought great waves of Western influence to this far eastern island nation. The revolution washed over the land, making life in the capital exciting and unsettling. It was a period of great change, and some was swept away by the tide. But for one man, the turbulence of that era was just the beginning of an extraordinary story.
What the hell? He shot someone! The Adventure of the Great Departure. Good lord. I forgot about the freaking typing sound effects they use. I hope it's not too loud. If I can open up settings later, I will. But if it's still on the quiet end, then I'm gonna leave it like that. Anyway, the 22nd of November, 8:43 a.m. Supreme Court of Judicature. Who the fuck? Who would name it that? Defendant's Antechamber number 5. Antechamber? Ant chamber? I don't know. A chamber for ants? I still can't believe it. I still can't believe this is happening. How can it be that just beyond the doors to this quiet little chamber is the highest court in Japan, waiting to decide my fate? Sounds like an isekai novel. What? Oh, no, nothing. Savior glares. Murderer! Sorry. My name is Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Love his name, it's so funny. I'm a second-year student at the Imperial Yume University. 3 days ago, I somehow found myself in the middle of a horrifying incident. Yes, God! And now here I am, awaiting my trial. That's enough. He's not obliged to listen to such abuse, officer. And who are you? I'm this man's lawyer. I'll be defending him today. Lawyer? Yes. And until the judge has given his verdict on the case, no one has the right to treat him as a criminal. Bailiff, smack him in his pee-pee right now! So you will hold your tongue. Technicalities. Look at you. You haven't even graduated yet. He's so, like, majestic. Melty, minty, Vermont. I've never been to Vermont. Thank you very much. And yet I still seem to know better than you, than you how a court officer should behave. The swaying headband in the wind, I know. Like, who's got the fan on in here? Right, Ryunosuke? Oh, yes, of course. Sorry. He's so handsome. What the hell? Why is he so handsome? Get him away from me. I'm gonna block the screen so I don't have to look at him. What are you apologizing to me for? Oh, No, I suppose that wasn't my fault. But really, Kazuma, I never meant to drag you into this. I'm sorry. There you go again, apologizing. Just like always. Though I must say, you've been all over the newspapers these past few days. Yume University professor murdered in cold blood by student. But obviously, you didn't actually do it, did you? Of course not. You have to believe me. I didn't do it. I could never murder someone. Then there's nothing to worry about. Straighten yourself up. Hold your head high. You mean... I believe you. I know you're innocent, Ryunosuke. Kazuma Asogi, my best friend, also in his second year at Yume University. But he's far more clever than I, a star student, in fact. He's even a qualified lawyer. Impressive, considering he's still an undergraduate. It's not that impressive. The very concept of lawyers is only a few years old. Here in Japan, anyway. My qualifications don't mean much. Yet. You said exactly the same thing 3 days ago. Oh, you're gonna hear everyone's localized names? Oh no! So it's gonna be like me when I heard all of the new names for the second Ace Investigations game. They're so bad. It's too bad they couldn't use the fan translated ones. But I'm proud to have a friend like you, Kazuma. Truly. 3 days ago. Yes, that's when all this started. It's always 3 days ago. What the hell? We even get a fucking handsome CG of him? Get him away from me. It feels like we're on a date. Congratulations, Kazuma. It looks like you're going to get to study abroad at last. I know. I've been forever dreaming of this day. Finally, those government elites have acknowledged my academic achievements and successes in court. So you'll be representing Japan as you immerse yourself in the most sophisticated legal system in the world. I'm really happy for you, and proud, as your friend. There's not a soul in the university who doesn't know Kazuma's name. He's a living legend. It's like there's some mysterious aura billowing around his temple. Is that what's blowing his freaking headband tails in the wind? His mysterious aura? This game is fucking ridiculous, and it's only been like 10 minutes. I want to bring about change in our own legal system. That's why I have to cross the ocean to see the real thing with my own eyes. The heart of the British Empire. I wish I could see it too. No, you don't. No, the fuck you don't. Then come with me. We'd have a wild time tearing up the streets of Her Majesty's City of London together. If only it were that simple. Oh dear, look at the time. I'd better be going. Alright, I'll see you later. I think I'll stay and enjoy this place a while longer. Good idea. After all, it's not every day you get to visit a high-class Western restaurant like this. See you in English class tomorrow then, partner. Tea time. And then he faded from existence. No, Asogi, come back! It was straight after that. That's when it happened. Asogi, may I have a word? I don't know. Questionable. Professor, I didn't know you were coming. Well, this case has personal significance to me. I love when someone's dad is a character. Just someone's dad. But never mind that for now. Asogi, you should go immediately to the judge's chambers. To His Excellency's chambers? Why? He was looking for you before. You advocating for the defense in this trial was a sudden decision. It seems there may be some confusion about procedures today as a result. Who is this man? I feel as though I've seen him at university before. I see. I'll go at once then. I shall accompany you. All right then, Ryunosuke. I'll see you in the courtroom. Yes. Thanks, Kazuma. Ugh. This is awkward. If I may? Yes? Sorry? You must be the defendant, Ryunosuke Naruhodo, I believe. Yes, that's right. My name is Eugene Mikotoba. I'm a professor of forensic medicine at Yume University. Ah, Professor Mikotoba. I've heard that name from Kazuma before. As I recall, he's been pushing to get the government to agree to Kazuma's studying abroad. Asogi has told me about you. You and he are best friends, I understand. Cling! As such, I feel you should know. Besties! Know what? Well, as you've no doubt heard, Asogi has been granted permission to go and study in Great Britain. However, if he should fail to defend you in today's trial, I'm afraid that permission will be revoked and never granted again. What the fuck? Just high stakes? What? Ah, as I suspected, you were unaware of this. I had a feeling Asogi might have chosen not to tell you. He's agreed to defend me, knowing that if he fails, his dreams will be shattered. But I don't understand. Why would the government do such a thing? The administration has to choose from a large number of applicants for overseas studies. It's difficult to persuade them to grant permission, even in the most favorable of circumstances. I don't believe it. But I didn't do it. I swear it. I'm not a murderer. I'm sure that's true. Nevertheless, why is it like I'm playing the same games, like overlapping with each other? Because this is just like Despera drops. I'm getting flashbacks to the start of the game. I'm not a murderer. I didn't do it. I can assure you that proving your innocence will be no easy task. You see, there are certain peculiar peculiarities about today's trial. Yeah, I know, Despair Drops a reference, we can't escape it. And even within Despair Drops, they had a freaking Olympia soiree reference. Well, like, a scene that was almost ripped straight from that game. And I was like, what the fuck is happening? Like, I'm getting so much deja vu. Inception, truly. They're just like digging up all the games I've played in the past and hated and shoving them right back in my face. No, I'm kidding. Well, not in the case of Olympia Soiree. I think I've made it like very clear I fucking hate that game. And yet I will still probably buy the fan disc if it comes to English translation because I want to see if they can like actually make it salvageable. Because they could not in the base game. It was awful. Anyway. Sorry, what do you mean? You'll soon understand, once proceedings get underway. But then what should I do? Well, naturally, I'm not going to suggest doing anything that could lead to a conviction. Right, so as soon as the trial starts, the judge will pose a certain question to the defense. When that happens, you must answer before anyone else. You must say, I do. I do. But what will the question be? This feels like a setup, and I don't like it. Surely not? Do you accept the accusations brought before you? Of course not. Defendant! Defendant, line up to get your balls slapped right now. Court proceedings, you understand. Okay, so I feel like before we actually get into the trial, you all know ball slapped once again. I know. You all know I love puzzle games and I love mystery and I love visual novels. For some reason, whenever I play Ace Attorney, I'm like horrendously bad at knowing which evidence to present and like which shit to press when we're doing interrogations and stuff. I don't know why. And it seems to be only with Ace Attorney that I'm like exceptionally bad at it and I really don't understand. It's it's crazy. Like I don't know. I struggle. I struggle. It's so stupid. And I'll struggle even like knowing that I've played the games before. And I'll be like, what the hell? Like, I don't know which one to present. No. You'll try to help me out. Yeah, it's just I don't know. I don't know what to tell you because I feel like in my mind I know what should be presented and where, but then I always mess up. I mess it up. Even in the first game, and the first game is like so stupidly simple, right? And I'm always like presenting the wrong thing at the wrong place. I'm like, no. and it keeps knocking off my chances. Oh, flashbacks. Okay, 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 okay. We can do this. We can do this. We gotta lock in. Okay. Defendant, line up for your ball slap. Court is about to begin. Please proceed to the courtroom at once. After your ball slap. Ah, it would seem our surreptitious discussions are about to be cut short. So allow me to summarize. Kazuma Asogi must not be the defense lawyer in this trial. Of course, as the defendant, the final decision is yours. This is crazy. They're really saying don't fuck up this guy's chances. What are you waiting for? Do you want to be found guilty for failing to appear? Get moving. There's no point in advance or anyone advocating for the likes of you anyway. I know. There's this freaking old man with a mustache we don't even know telling us to be like, we can't have you fucking up Kazuma's chances of going to Great Britain and seeing all the fucked up teeth out there. So you better deny him the chance to be your lawyer. I know. This is it. If this trial goes badly, Kazuma's dreams of studying abroad are over, and what's more, I'll be found guilty of murder. And so, with absolutely no idea of what lay ahead, I embarked on that unforgettable trial. I know! That's what I'm saying. I think we should ruin his chances to go there. Asogi, no, you don't want to go there, please. We're begging you, stay in Japan. My one and only chance of proving my innocence, the trial that would decide my destiny, but not my dual destiny because that game was shit. 22nd of November, 9 a.m. Supreme Court of Judicature. Courtroom number 2. Oh my god, what the hell? Bro, close your eyes, please, and stop shifting them around. You look so suspicious. Oh my god. He really has to be Phoenix's ancestor, right? He's got crazy eyes. That's what happens when you get ball slapped before court. So, this is a courtroom. He's there looking like a freaking crazy frog, and then Asogi's just there, just standing majestically and handsome with his headband waving in the non-existent wind. The Supreme Court of Judicature. I don't even know how to pronounce that word. I've never seen it used in my entire life, so that's how it's gonna be said from now on. Can we just say the Supreme Court of Justice? Like, please? No court in the land has more power. When your lawyer has #crazy eyes. I don't much like the look of those people sitting in the public gallery. Lots of military and other uniforms in there. The powers that be have demanded that this be a secret trial. A secret trial? A trial that's closed to ordinary members of the public. Only military and government officials may attend. What? But why? It'll become clear in time, but for now, this is so cryptic. Real court doesn't work like this. You need to concentrate, Ryunosuke. It's about to begin. Oh my god, it's another pain. Hey, why is this judge kind of hot? His beard looks like curtain tassels, though. Why is it shaped like that? Exactly. The one time I will agree with you calling some random old man fresh. Yeah, exactly, he's fucking hot. The regular bald-ass judge could not, even. Judge Jikoku. No, no way that's his name. The court will now hear the trial of Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Oh my god, his name is Ouchie? That's so funny. Judge Jikoku and Ouchie. Oh my freaking god. It's Winston Payne's Nippon uncle. God, that's crazy. I love this though. It's so funny seeing like variants of them all across the freaking globe. The prosecution is ready, Your Excellency. Oh my god, he's still shifting his eyes around. As is the defense. Before we begin, there is one point of order I would like to confirm. Yesterday evening, the defense made a last-minute request for a change of advocate. That's correct, Your Excellency. I made the request myself. Normal procedure is for the defendant's advocacy to be decided 2 days prior to trial. As this is an unusual circumstance, I am obliged to ask for final confirmation now. Who advocates for the defendant in this trial? I had a feeling it was going to come down to this, but I knew he was going to make us defend ourselves. Fucking Noah. The judge has 2 defendant pins as nipples? That's crazy. It's just like in Recess, when you look at Miss Finster's dress, she's got like 2 pink dots like right over where her nips would be. They just had to line it up perfectly like that. Judge is kind of perky though. Oh my god. Oh my god, they're gonna make us defend ourselves. You remember this? Yeah, I do. This is it. This must be the question. Who's going to defend me? That's the question the professor meant. But then, if I say I do... You understand. He doesn't want you fucking up your friend's chance of going to the fuck-ass land of Great Britain. I need to answer quickly. What should I do? Answer I do! Your Excellency, no confirmation is needed. As I'm standing here beside the defendant, I hope it's clear who will advocate for this... Oh my god, he even interrupted me. Oh my god, please stop shifting your eyes around. What is the meaning of this unruly outburst? I would like to inform the court that I, Ryunosuke Naruhodo, will be defending myself! You'll be... What? I know, he's freaking everybody out. What are you playing at, Ryunosuke? Professor Mikotoba told me everything, just now, before the trial. He did what? He said that your dreams of studying abroad would be dashed if you were to lose. I know. And that's Phoenix's technical name too, so that's really funny. How sad. It means you don't have faith in me. That is not what this means, bro. You think I won't be able to get you off? Oh. Interesting wording. No, I think I have total faith in you for that. Excuse me. No, it's not that, really. Oh yeah, pause. It's terrible. Who wrote like that? It's just that, well, on the off chance that things don't go well for me, I couldn't bear to be the reason that you... Yes. I knew that's how you'd feel, which is exactly why I decided not to tell you. Professor Mikotoba shouldn't have stuck his nose in. Very well. The court hereby recognizes the defendant's desire to advocate for himself in today's trial. Well, well. Does the accused admit defeat already? Renouncing his counsel? Really?
Objection!
Objection! Make no mistake, counsel. This merely shows that the defendant's innocence is so apparent he's confident he can speak for himself. I know, like, all of the Winston Payne and whatever else Payne and Mr. Ouchie, they all suck. They're all annoying. But he doesn't seem like a sniveling weirdo like his descendants are, so we have that going for us at least. Isn't that so, Naruhodo-san? Hmm? Oh, yes, exactly. Exactly what I wasn't thinking. Not confident at all. Oh my god. Yeah, that's Phoenix, alright. In fact, my mind's a complete blank. Oh my god, he's so hot. What? Is this why you made me play this game? No, please. I can't. I can't. I have to block the screen. He's so handsome. I realize you're in charge now, but still, try not to look so bewildered. Well, for a mere university student to be brought before the Supreme Court, you must have perpetrated the most heinous crime indeed. As you are no doubt aware, this is the Supreme Court of Justice in Japan, because I'm not saying that word. Accordingly, the very highest standards of conduct are expected of all present. Oops. Oh, we have a log. That's nice. Okay. Sorry. I gotta rub my eye. Ugh. Because they are dry. Oh, okay. Asogi, can you just, like, not show up on my screen anymore, please? Because I don't want to have to hold my hand up this entire stream. Okay. Do I make myself clear, Defendant Naruhodo? Yes, Your Excellency. It is therefore my duty to assess your competence for the task you have undertaken. My competence? Does that mean? You can't be joking, dude. You're studying law and you don't know what competence means? He's questioning your ability to do the job. Well, he can't be questioning it more than I am. So, let's start with the very simplest of questions. Oh, yes. Kindly state before the court the name of the victim in this case. Well, that's easy enough. I've heard his name more times than I'd care to remember. Sorry. Ugh. To anyone else who has acid reflux out there, does it ever creep up on you when you least expect it? Because that just happened to me. Ugh. I swear, this is all Asogi's fault, okay? I'm blaming him. But wait. I'm so nervous I can't even remember that. What was it again? Ryunosuke. Let me guess. Your mind's gone blank? You know me so well. All the relevant information for the case can be found in the court record. But I can't even find that. It's simple. You can access the court record in very large yellow letters with a press of RB. Okay. If you ever find you've forgotten something, just consult that. It's all in there. I just have to press RB for the court record. Alright, there's no time to lose. The court record! University collar pin, proof that I'm a university student at the Imperial Yume University. I always wear it on the collar of my uniform jacket. This is the list of evidence you've collected. Now try switching to people instead with RB. He's so handsome! A second year at the university. I'm not gonna read all that. He's my best friend, and despite being a student, a qualified defense lawyer as well. Oh god, this asshole with the mustache. We love him. We sure do. a medical school professor, Takasuchi Auchi. No, Takasuchi Auchi. Oh my god, what a mouthful. The lead prosecutor of this case, who would appear to have little love for the changes the cultural reformation has brought about. Oh my god, it's a British guy. Victim of this case, he was a visiting professor of medicine at Yume University from the British Empire. DILF. So remember, everything to do with the current case can be found in the court record. R.I.P. white dude. So true. We don't have time to care about that right now. Now, you better not keep his excellency waiting any longer. Go on. Find the victim in the people section of the court record, then press Y to present. Try it now. Nope, that's not it.
Yes!
Yes! The victim's name was Dr. John H. Wilson. Haha. Well, at least you can remember the name of an esteemed member of your own university. Dr. Wilson was a visiting professor from England invited to Yume University 3 years ago. Indeed, which is the reason why this case has such profound implications. The British Empire is at present our country's most valuable foreign ally. And as most of you will be aware, we have just signed a new treaty together after lengthy negotiations. There can't be anyone who hasn't heard of the Anglo-Japanese Treaty of Friendship and Navigation. Oh my god. And yet despite these delicate circumstances, the blood of an Englishman has been spilt on our soil. You two are both undergraduates at the Imperial Yume University, are you not? Murdering a professor from the very institution that provides your education. Have you no honor? Ugh, but I didn't do it. This case is coming under great scrutiny from our allies on the other side of the world. Yeah, I'm crying about a friendship treaty. It was such a lengthy name, too. A friendship and navigation. The court therefore wishes for a speedy resolution to this matter. In other words, our feeble government is scared of upsetting England's policymakers. And you're a convenient and expendable scapegoat to blame for this crime. So that's why this trial has these unusual peculiarities. Is it? Is it? Is it? I don't know. I guess so. Exactly. Our government needs to convict someone as quickly as possible. All because the victim was an Englishman. In the very all-important orange text, an Englishman. Yes, Dr. Wilson was an Englishman. Oh my fucking god. He's thinking! He's using his brain! But nationalities and treaties won't make any difference for me here. Oh my god, no, not the shifty eye look again. He honestly looks like a lizard, or a frog, or something following a fly, buzzing around him. The fact is, I was there at the scene of the crime. Stop putting us on dates with him, please! Oh dear, look at the time. I'd better be going. Alright, I'll see you later. I think I'll stay and enjoy this place a little longer. Good idea. After all, it's not every day you get to visit a high-class Western restaurant like this. See you in English class tomorrow then, partner. The British Empire. Wow, it's incredible to think. Wait. I've seen that man at university. I'm sure he's a visiting professor from Great Britain. I don't know his name, but still, I should go and say hello. So I went over to the professor's table. Aw, he's so cute and shy. And introduced myself to Dr. Wilson. Now then, let me pose my next question to you, Defendant Naruhodo. Yes, Your Excellency. How did this professor of medicine, Dr. John H. Wilson, lose his life? State before the court the cause of death. The cause of death? Well, obviously that was, let's see here. Death occurred a little after 2 p.m. and was caused by loss of blood from a gunshot to the chest. The bullet did not pass through the victim's body. Gotcha. Ryunosuke. Remember that in court, every assertion must be backed up by evidence. By evidence? But how? The court record, dum-dum! Find the piece of evidence that shows the professor's cause of death, and select present. Do it now!
Yes!
Yes! Well... Sorry, I gotta crack my jaw. No. Oh my god, why is he double fisting the papers like that? According to this document, the victim suffered a hemorrhagic death due to gunshot trauma. Learn to read, you imbecile! That's the post-mortem report, I take it. Sorry, yes, that's right. The post-mortem report. In the West, a doctor dissects corpses to identify the cause of death in an autopsy. But here in Japan, a police officer merely inspects the body and draws conclusions that way. Would Ryunosuke even have a gun? I have no idea. Apparently, they don't give a shit about any kind of logical explanation for that. They're just gonna pin it on him because he was there. Oh, I see. As long as I'm not going to be tested on any of this later. Oh my god, he's so stupid. This is a so-called photographic print of the scene of the crime. You can clearly discern scorch marks around the bullet hole produced by the powder explosion. In other words, we should assume that the victim was shot at close range. Thank you, counsel. The court will accept this modern scientific evidence into court. The photographic print of the victim has been entered into the court record. So that's a photographic print. Well, that's something I've never seen before. Wait, I want to see here. Can we examine this? Oh my god. Look, his steak is untouched. He didn't even have any of his wine. He didn't even get to have a last meal, and he was sitting right at a restaurant. Tisk tisk. Magnifying glass. Dun dun dun. And his schnoz. His schnoz. The steak, the wine. The fork! This is the real murder weapon. Anyway. It's clearly superior to a drawing. The detail is incredible. Very well. I am satisfied with your answers. Let us start the trial. Oh my god. Certainly, Your Excellency. So, without further ado, in order to better apprise the court with the facts of the case, the prosecution hereby calls its first witness who was there at the scene of the crime when it happened. Ugh. This is it then. That damn steak. You know. I think I may have worked out what the professor had in mind. The professor? You mean Dr. Mikotoba? Yes, clearly you're the defense lawyer today, not me. But that doesn't mean... Well, I can still act as your assistant. Ah, Of course. When he was speaking with me before, he simply said, Kazuma Asogi must not be the defense lawyer in this trial. He really has been sticking his oar in, hasn't he? Maybe, but any help you can give me would be greatly appreciated, Kazuma. Oh my god. Well, my first piece of advice is, rein in that crazy look of bewilderment and control the cold sweats. He's so right, though. He's so right. Only if you rein in that crazy headband and control the cold stares first. Oh my god. Even Ryunosuke's talking shit about the headband. Witness, state your name and occupation for the court, please. Of course. My name is Satoru Hosonaga. Okay. I am the head waiter at a Western-styled restaurant called La Carnival. Okay. Ew! He's got COVID! Ahem. Ahem. Are you alright? You seem to be coughing up some, What's with the tender smile? It's a regular occurrence. It really doesn't bother me. I think it should. Yeah, no shit. He just blots it on his freaking arm towel and says, it's but a trifling matter. No, dude, I think you should go see a doctor. For fuck's sake, people are crazy in this game. Well, it really, really should. Exactly. Exactly. As everyone knows, the capital's southeastern quarter was developed for foreign visitors some years ago. It's become a very fashionable district now, full of hotels to accommodate overseas guests. This grim crime occurred in one of the district's so-called restaurants, an Occidental eatery, 3 days ago. Understood. Hosonaga-san, will you kindly tell the court everything you can about the incident? At once, sir. And no petty interjections from the aspiring lawyer boy, please. Oh, perspiring, maybe, but aspiring? It was just after 2 p.m. on the day in question. We have few diners at that time of day. The lunchtime rush was over, and there were only 3 tables still occupied. That fits in with my memory of it, too. There was hardly anyone else in the place. Oh my god. It was when I was in the kitchen, putting away crockery and cutlery. A gunshot rang out, so I hurried to the dining area to see what had happened. I found the victim, an English gentleman, slumped in his chair. And standing immediately beside him, gun in hand, was the accused university student.
Yes!
Yes! Hold on. Let me just clarify something here. While I did pick up a gun that I found lying on the floor beside the professor, I didn't shoot him.
Objection!
Ew! Why does he sound like that? I believe I asked you to refrain from petty interjections. The court wishes to listen to the witness's report of what he saw, you amateur. But the next time you interrupt at an inappropriate time, you will be penalized, defendant Naruhodo. Don't worry, Ryunosuke. You'll have your chance to fight back. For now, we must quietly listen to the witness. Ugh. If I may confirm one point, waiter. Standing beside the victim with a gun in hand was the same man we see here in court today. Please stop coughing, bro. Yes. Without question. I see. And apart from the accused, was there anyone else standing beside the victim? Oh my god, he's just gonna keep blotting it on that towel. No. There was no one else around that table but the deceased Englishman and the university student. Huh? Wait. What did he just say? There was no one else around that table. What's the matter, Ryunosuke? That's just not right. When I went over to Dr. Wilson to say hello, there was a woman sitting opposite him at his table. Really? And that's not something the waiter could have missed. I've been warned about interjecting, but still, what should I do? That's a good question. Now I'm gonna interject.
Yes!
Just a moment, please. Dr. Wilson wasn't alone that day. I'm sure of it. There was a lady sitting with him at the same table.
Attention!
Dear me, what are we going to do with you? With your blatant disregard for court proceedings, I'm beginning to wonder if you're not a fraud. Could it be that the accused, this mere student, is not a real lawyer after all? But I'm sure of what I saw. Hosonaga-san, is there any chance you're mistaken? Perhaps your memory of the events are hazy. No. The deceased gentleman came to dine alone. I don't believe it. You're a liar! I actually have a rough plan of the restaurant as it was that day. Please, have a look if you'd like to. Let me see. Ah, a sketch of the establishment's layout drawn by yourself, I presume. That's right. I'm afraid I used the back of my business card. It was a turbulent situation. However, as you can see, the gentleman in question was seated alone. Well, you're clearly a very conscientious waiter. Please. Also, did you see my new emojis? Sorry. I'm just gonna interject here. I'm gonna interject in my own chat. The waiter is lying. I know. Hold on. Me when the waiter lies. When he lies in front of my salad. Thank you, sir. The court will take this plan and add it to the court record as evidence. Oh, well, is there a problem? Hand the plan to the court officer at once. Of course. Here you are. See? He's sketchy! He's sketchy! He can't be trusted! What was that about? He's been completely calm and collected until now. Oh my god, please! What the hell, bro? This is just No! Sorry. Sorry. Please stop coughing. Keep it going. It's awful. Fucking god. Oh my god. So the court has now heard a priestess of the case? A priestess of you're losing your mind. I need that as a sound redeem. That's fucking terrible. Oh god. Yes, at the moment the gunshot was heard in the restaurant, the only person in close proximity to the victim was the defendant on trial today. I hope he doesn't do that again, because I don't know if I can take it. That's so funny. Imagine you just get like a little bit nervous and you start coughing your freaking lungs out like that. Oh my god. I'm surprised he wasn't spraying blood everywhere. Like a comical blood spray splatter effect all over his towel. He's gonna keep doing it. No. Oh my god. Oh, oh, hold on. I need to take a sip of drink. That was crazy. Oh my god. Okay. Okay. We can do this. We can do this. Actually, it's really hot down here. Hold on. What? Anything above 15 degrees has me boiling, so. Ugh, even in my room down here, it's still hot. I gotta. I know. Well, you live in a hot state, too. And you're like right by the water, so I have no doubt that it's hot there. Well, shit's crazy over here. Like, we've got a bunch of wildfires happening in the province. So, there's wildfires, there's talk about funnel clouds appearing and shit like that. Yeah, wildfire twins. So, shit's not great. There's probably like a really small chance it's gonna come like to the city because there's not really anything to burn over here. They've developed too much, so it's all buildings now. But I feel bad for the people up north and to the east because they're getting it the worst right now. Oh boy. Okay, let's get into the meat of the case. Let's get into the meat of it. It would seem we are looking at a black and white case here. Bullshit. Defendant Naruhodo. Yes, Your Excellency? If you admit your guilt at this stage, the court is willing to look mercifully upon you. You're lying! You're lying! This is just like despair drops! This is entrapment or something like that. I don't fucking know. There's a word for it. There's a word for it, and that's what this is. In other words, you may have some small reprieve in terms of your inevitable punishment. I called this waiter as an unsworn witness in order to explain the details of the case to the court. An unsworn witness? Does that mean he's not under oath? But I must warn the defense if you are determined to pursue matters further in this trial. The prosecution has decisive evidence from sworn witnesses who were present at the scene of the crime. What do you think I should do, Kazuma? What do you mean? Well, I'm going to be found guilty one way or another, it seems. Wouldn't it be sensible to plead guilty at this stage and hope for a more lenient sentence? No! No, you fucking idiot! You don't fall for their tricks! You know you're innocent! You know you're innocent! Don't fall for it! Yeah, exactly. You give him that look. Everyone keeps telling me that this trial is unusual. About these peculiarities. That's a really hard word to say. Just saying. Peculiarities. Blech. It doesn't sound right. Whenever I say it, no matter how I say it, it sounds wrong. So I'm gonna get tongue-tied just a little bit over it. Don't look at me. Just kidding. Don't pay attention to it. Anyway, you've said it. Professor Bikotoba said it, and so has the judge and the prosecution. I'm scared of what lies ahead if I push this. As I said from the outset, I believe you're innocent. I trust you. And yet, despite knowing that, you're willing now to throw that trust back in my face? Is that it? What? If the accused is in fact innocent, then a defense lawyer is duty-bound to prove that innocence by whatever means necessary. Are you just going to abandon that duty? Are you going to give up on yourself? The battle hasn't even begun yet, Ryunosuke. The defense pleads not guilty, Your Excellency. We invite the prosecution to stop making empty threats and bring out its witnesses. He's so hot. Then we'll see just how decisive this evidence is. I can't stand him. Indeed. Prosecutor Ouchie, please continue with the proceedings. Well, you were warned. The young can be so reckless. You know, many call me a saint, but I can be a devil when I want to be. What the hell? I can be your angel or your devil. No way. Get this old ass man out of here. Ugh. In a few short moments from now, that dumbstruck young mouth of yours will be silenced forever. The prosecution calls its next witnesses. Very well. Officer, bring forth the witnesses at once! Oh my god, why is his face pinched like that? This old-ass man? Witnesses, kindly state your names and occupations for the court. Yes, sir. The great Nippon Imperial Army Sergeant. Yes, sir. No, sir. No freaking way. Yes, sir. No, sir. That's so fucking funny. Reporting for duty, sir. Some dude. It's giving Jar Jar Binks. No. Misa, yes, sir. No, sir. Shut up. You guys. Myself, I find employ as a purveyor of fine articles, antiquity, from the efflorescence of our nation, Nippon, and conduct my trade from Rasute, a humble premises in the 2nd District, Curio Korikuta? Oh my god. At your service. An antique dealer and a soldier, what an unusual pairing. Both of these gentlemen were present at the restaurant on the day in question. They must be the diners at the other table that the waiter mentioned. Myself, I habitually take tea of the most exquisite aroma at the establishment in question, always post-noon. Why is he so... If that guy's Jar Jar Binks, this guy is definitely Yoda, because why is he talking like that? And, not infrequently, converse with interested parties regarding the curios with which I make my business. I know. He's so yappy. I can't understand a word that old man is saying. He's an antique dealer, and it sounds like he's a regular at Le Carnival. Le Carnival. He seeks out potential customers who may have an interest in antiques and tries to sell his wares to them. He obviously targets Le Carnival because it's high class. It's a high-class restaurant with rich clientele. Right, I see. Although, to be honest, that sergeant looks more like he'd be a seller rather than a buyer. Now, you both witnessed the precise moment of this most atrocious incident. Is that correct? Good lord. Affirmative! The enemy unit was seen attacking the foreigner in what can only be described as an act of war, sir! It was that black uniformed rogue infantryman over there who unloaded his firearm, sir! This man's as impossible to understand as the other. Why is my freaking mouse always in the way? But I'm almost sure I heard a strange noise during that last thing he said. I did too. Like, why did he whine like that? What was that? So, this is the decisive evidence the prosecution was threatening. The soldier is claiming that he actually saw the precise moment you shot the victim dead. I know! What the fuck was that? I guess, like, obviously we're probably gonna find out, but... like, that was weird. I kind of thought it was, like, maybe an audio glitch, but I guess not. It's actually written into the game. Oh wait, let's look at their profiles. Oh god, this asshole. The head waiter of the European-style restaurant Le Carnival. He was serving there on that day of the incident. Yes, sir. No, sir. An army sergeant of the Empire of Japan who witnessed the incident. I can't believe his name is freaking Curio. He is a witness. I'm gonna examine this. Can we, like, flip it over? Kitchen entrance. Let me flip it over. I want to see the back of his business card. Meh. Well, are you starting to feel uncomfortable? If I'm honest, I was feeling uncomfortable from the start. Now the court will hear your formal testimony, please. You will state everything you saw at the precise moment that the incident occurred. Oh my god, shut up! Ew! Why does it keep making that sound? Does he have a baby strapped to his back? Sir, yes, sir. Standing by to report, sir. Unsavory memories of the most acerbic afternoon. What the witnesses saw. I was ingesting a regulation beef steak at the restaurant while having a tactical discussion with the old man. Myself, I was extolling the virtues of a particularly fine golden curio to the military gentleman. At that precise moment, a firearm was discharged. Ew, stop that, please. What is that freaking sound? I observed the enemy's actions with my own eyes. The black uniformed varsity cadet fired on the English civilian, and from the back, the cowardly little weasel. I'm gonna press that when they tell me to, or when I'm able to. He was shot from the front, point blank, or at least at close range, not from the back, you fucking liar! I was on my hands and knees investigating the whereabouts of my mysteriously absconded precious curio. Well, so you, Sergeant Nosa, actually witnessed the vital moment. You saw the split second when the defendant fired the weapon at the victim. Ew! Stop! Yes, sir! Affirmative, sir! That wicked university cadet, sir! The cruel and unforgivable enemy! They love to lie in court, I know. All these bitches be lying. Why does he have a freaking blade? Who let him bring a blade into court? That's psychotic. What times we live in, when an English gentleman may be assailed in the broad light of day. But this is ridiculous. You didn't shoot anyone. This fucking old man might as well be the murderer. Maybe he is. Maybe he is. According to him, he was on his hands and knees looking for his stupid curio, so maybe he had a gun. We don't know. We will find out. Is that really true, Ryunosuke? Yes, all I did was pick up the gun that I saw lying on the floor. And honestly, why would that be your first instinct? You see a gun lying on the floor, why would your instinct be to pick it up? That's crazy. Nonsensical and crazy. After I'd said hello to Dr. Wilson, I went back to my table and sat drinking some coffee. Then, when I'd finished, I got up from my seat to leave the restaurant. Edgeworth-ass moment right there. Yeah, I can picture that freaking CG in my head now that you say it. And I hate that. It's like burned into my memory. But also I have an edited version where his hand's stuck in a Pringles can, so that's also what I'm thinking of. When I noticed an English-made gun next to the chair where the professor was sitting. I thought perhaps the professor had dropped it. So I bent down, and just as I was picking it up, well, if that's the truth, there was obviously a criminal on the scene somewhere. And somewhere in these two witnesses' testimonies, there's a clue as to who that criminal was. There is? Ryunosuke, you must exercise your right to cross-examine the witnesses. Cross-examine? Do it now! As we have heard, Your Excellency, there is no room for doubt in the testimony of these witnesses. The defendant is clearly guilty. It is time to bring this despicable student to justice. Certainly, the testimony the court has just heard eliminates any vestige of doubt. Therefore, it is my grave duty to declare the verdict of this trial. Yes! Why did they change it from hold it to yes? I kind of don't like that. Because when he's saying yes, it sounds like he's agreeing with them. Anyway, what in the name of the Emperor is the meaning of this outburst? I am,
Shut up! Papa goes rude!
Shut up, Papa makes the rules! Yeah, I turned them back on. I turned the sound alerts back on because I knew I was going to be streaming from my computer, so thanks for redeeming, and thank you for the hydrate. Oh, refreshing. I mean, the defense demands its right to a cross-examination. Dear me, dear me. Let me guess. The Hachimaki headband boy next door told me to do it. Oh my god. Leave him alone. You'll never be handsome like he is. How pathetic. Huh? How did he know? The prosecution objects. This is a clear waste of time. The defendant obviously has no experience. How can he possibly carry out a cross-examination?
Objection!
Objection! The defense is asserting its right to a cross-examination. Whether or not you think he's capable of it is irrelevant. Gulp! Leave him alone! Kazuma is so commanding. Very well. Let the defense conduct a cross-examination of the witnesses. Alright, this is where the battle really begins, Ryunosuke. But I don't even know what I have to do in a cross-examination. Isn't it obvious? You have to expose the lies in the witnesses' statements. How? You didn't fire the gun, which means that what the soldier said has to be a lie. Well, yes, but it's just a case of proving it, and the key to doing that is evidence. Right, evidence. Why didn't I think of that? All you need to do is present some decisive and indisputable evidence that proves the witness is lying. Now let's go, Ryunosuke. Don't let them beat you. Oh my god. Asogi's fist made a really, deep thud, and then his little wet hand slaps on the bench. That's crazy. He really is like a frog. Alright then. It's all or nothing. What the witnesses saw. I was ingesting a regulation beefsteak. Yeah, well, guess what? I have no idea. I'm guessing that's just like the standard steak meal that they have, and he's calling it a regulation beefsteak. I don't care about your extolling the virtues of a particularly fine golden curio. We're pressing this.
Yes!
So this black uniformed university cadet, you're saying that was... If I become old, I'm gonna be like the old man? Why? You're just gonna be standing there shaking and looking at antiques? Arg. I've had just about enough of your sauce, cadet. Who else do you see around here in a black uniform, Well, there's someone standing right next to me who fits the description as well, but... It was you, you little weasel! You unloaded the firearm on that man! From behind his back, and you called yourself a ew, god! Anyway, and you call yourself a citizen of the great empire of Nippon? You disgust me. Hi, Deco Oddity. Who knows? Noah might stay young forever. What? Why does he look off to the side like that? Like he just heard somebody fart in the court. Ew! What the fuck is wrong with this game? What is it, Ryunosuke? I'm not quite sure. It's something that the sergeant just said, but I can't put my finger on it. Something's playing on my mind. In that case, check back over the details of the evidence you've gathered in the court record. And if you find an inconsistency there with what the witness just said, then don't hold back. Present the evidence to the court, thrust it in the witness's face, and make him choke on it. What the fuck? Okay. He's very, colorful with his choice of words. Thank you, Asogi. Thank you for the imagery. No! You can just stop right there. Why don't you go back to Honkai Star Rail? Oh yeah. I feel like that's par for the course for Ace Attorney, is it not? Can I like... Okay, I can rewind. Okay. Present. You're a fucking liar!
Yes!
See, I only know I got it right because they have a tendency to stop the music playing when you actually present the evidence correctly at the right statement. If the music still plays, then I know I got it wrong. What are you playing at, cadet? What is the meaning of this subordination? Thrusting some photographic print in my mustache? Inconsistency, sir! I mean, yes! There's a clear inconsistency here. What nonsense. What can this print possibly tell us that we don't already know? Well, obviously, that, I know what I want to say, but the words just won't come out of my mouth. I think this proves beyond any doubt, Your Excellency, that there is no place for an amateur student here in this grand courtroom. Ah, this is so frustrating. Thank you, Asogi. Oh, please. Surely this doesn't require an explanation. It couldn't be more plain. He asked for no pickles! To spell it out would be an insult to the court. Kazuma, what? What are you talking about? It's apparent from a single glance at the photographic print presented by the defense that there's a clear discrepancy here within the sergeant's statement. What? Sergeant Iesa Nosa. Yes, sir. What, sir? The statement you just made was this. The black uniformed varsity cadet fired on the English civilian, and from the back, the cowardly little weasel. I know, I love his theme, it's so great. It fits him and how handsome he is and perfect and delicious and, you know. Stop making me talk about him. I hate him. Anyway. Yes, sir. Affirmative, sir. I witnessed the crime with my own military-grade eyes, sir.
Yes!
Yes! But no, that just can't be. And why not, Cadet? Because... Take a close look at the print. The victim, Dr. Wilson, died from a bullet wound to the chest. Ah. Sergeant, according to your witness statement... Yeah, it really doesn't make sense for him to be like, yes, to interrupt something. Because just screaming yes in the middle of a conversation is kind of stupid. The culprit shot the victim from behind. And that is the obvious discrepancy here. Well, how do you explain it? Oh, he really does have a baby strapped to his back. Oh my god, what is he doing to it? Oh, What the... What was that? Something just popped up from behind his back, but he pushed it down again. His hidden baby. Certainly, there is a clear discrepancy with the facts here. Would you not agree, Sergeant Nosa? Yes, sir. At this juncture, that would appear to be indisputable. Until the moment I heard the firearm discharge. Oh my god, his freaking baby. My eyes were firmly fixed on the delicious La Carnival steak, sir! What? The last testimony the court heard has proven one thing beyond all reasonable doubt. This witness, Sergeant Iesa Nosa, did not see the defendant firing the gun at all. That's absurd. I think the conclusion we must draw is simple. There is no place for an amateur prosecutor here in this grand courtroom. Oh, shut up! There's been a complete turnabout in the mood of this trial, just from that one discrepancy. So this is what being an ace attorney is all about. But I definitely saw him. That university cadet, there. He was pointing the firearm directly at the victim's back.
Yes!
See, it just sounds like he's agreeing with him. That's so stupid. I don't even have anything to say to that, so you get an emoji. There. I don't even get to see like my layout while I'm playing because I have to look at the bigger screen. The hidden sun was real. But I never fired the gun. All I did was pick it up off the floor. And you, old man, you didn't see the moment the victim was shot either. Yeah, only Asogi has been the one saying objection, which is weird. Myself, I have been quite clear. The gunshot interested me not. I was far too busy on the floor. Why even bother calling the old man there in the first place then? The old man was shaking like a leaf. Just like that guy in Hakuoki. Too busy on the floor? Sorry, what were you doing? Hunting for treasure. Treasure? Oh my god, and he's missing all his teeth except for 4? Indeed, the Hoi era Koban, my prized coin! On each occasion when I visit that restaurant, it is my habitude to place in my bosom pocket a particular trinket of interest from my shop, Rasute, in the hope of meeting a rich diner who might like to buy it from you. On the day under scrutiny, it was to the military man that I proffered my Hoei treasure. Believe that he would purchase such a rare find, I did not, but I was presented with little alternative. And then, after averting my eyes for the briefest of moments, there was there no more? Why does he talk like this? It's so confusing. It simply vanished. The Koban vanished. Hunting around under the table I was, in case mayhap it had fallen there. And then it happened. You heard the gunshot, you mean? Indeed I did, but I heeded it not, for I was concerned only for with finding my absconded Hoei treasure. I know, like why is he even there? He was just crawling around on the floor looking for a coin. Nothing could distract me. That's gonna be Noah. That's gonna be Noah in 30 years. He's gonna age rapidly and turn into that old man, and then he's gonna be talking about coins and antiques and crawling around on the carpet looking for shit. They can distract me from my coin. Out of interest, did you find the coin in the end? Yeah, you in the future. I'll hold you to it. No, he did not find his coin. I see. That lamentable day, the precious Hoei Koban was lost to me. No doubt some unscrupulous scoundrel pocketed the prize coin for himself. What the hell? Is he guilty? Did he steal the stupid coin? As I am sure everyone present is aware, this case demands a swift and decisive resolution. Our government has promised to send a full report to Great Britain by telegraph this very afternoon. Well, maybe you shouldn't promise shit like that. That sounds like a you problem. No, your poor stummy. Don't choke. Nevertheless, the witness testimony the court has just heard was inconclusive. No matter how subservient our government feels it must be to the British. It would be unforgivable to deliver a verdict on this trial right now. What is your position, Prosecutor Ouchie? Worry not, Your Excellency. The defendant may have fled a tiger at the front gate, but he will find a wolf at the back. What are you insinuating? What are you gonna do to his back? My witnesses have further testimony to make. Explain. Upon hearing their next statements, it will become abundantly clear that there is only one person who could have possibly committed this despicable crime. The equally despicable defendant, Ryunosuke Naruhodo. What? Ouchie sucks. So true. This guy sucks. This is why we only see like the variant of the Pain characters for like the first trial, and then they never show up again because they fucking suck. He really seems to have a despicable opinion of you, doesn't he? Ugh. Very well, the court invites the witnesses to testify again. You will thoroughly explain the reasoning behind the prosecution's allegation. Is that clear? As clear as Kiriko glass, Your Excellency. Yes, sir. At once, sir. Awaiting signal to testify, sir. Excuse me, but there's something, or someone, peeking out over your shoulder, I think. Affirmative. The newest member of the Nosa family to rise up through the ranks, sir. Name, Ido. It would seem those straps are a sign of the sergeant being too strapped to afford a nanny. Ido. Tension? Oh my god, he's got a fucking pinwheel. Ew. Snot bubble. Your father is about to quell the enemy. Watch and learn, my boy. Snot kid. So true. The true culprit. Even if what I saw wasn't the precise moment of the firearm, even if what I saw wasn't the precise moment the firearm was discharged, it's almost the same thing. Yes, pointing his gun at the foreign man he was, that young lad in black. That much I myself did see. Furthermore, a visual search of the premises at the time confirmed that we were the only personnel present. Indeed, alone he was, the Englishman, dining all by himself. Therefore, no one other than the black uniformed cadet could dispatch the Englishman. Over and out.
Yes!
Oh my god, I didn't even get a chance to read that. Wait, that's nonsense. The victim, Dr. Wilson, wasn't alone at all. Please, enough of these outbursts already. But there was a woman. There was a young woman at his table. You must have seen her. Everyone there must have seen her. Oh god, I didn't know I had vibrate on this and I left it on my freaking table. If you call yourself a lawyer, then you will respect the rules of the court and speak accordingly. New fish? Oh, I thought I heard something. Hold on. Hello, Quimsby. Thank you for the sub. Or, well, not the sub, the follow. I don't know why I said sub, but hi! Welcome to the shit show. We are not here to listen to your fantasies. It is evident beyond all reasonable doubt that the victim was alone at the time of the incident. The prosecution has photographic evidence of this fact. Is this a photographic print of the scene of the crime, counsel? Oh, that's all good. We love lurkers here. Thank you for coming out of the lurk to chat, though, even if briefly. Yes, we love Ace Attorney here. So true. I watch Law & Order sometimes, but because I'm a hashtag gamer, I do love Ace Attorney more. I feel like... I feel like in the picture that we have of him slumped over in his chair, that there wasn't like a bite taken out of the steak, but we'll see. Hold on. I'll cross-examine in a second. Hold on. Oh, no, I'm gonna look right now, actually. It's so weird because it's being covered by the chair itself, but it feels like he was moved over. If somebody tampered with the evidence. Why did they just happen to have this, like, other angle? But it does... The chair was obviously, like, moved over. Who bit the steak after he died? I don't know. That's disgusting. Who out here eats a dead man's steak? Oh god, okay. Sorry. Indeed, of the table at which the victim was dining, taken by an investigator immediately after the incident. As can plainly be seen, there is only one place set. That doesn't technically mean that he didn't have somebody sitting at the table, it just means that she came over from somewhere else. Clearly. Or she wasn't there to eat. That means nothing. That means nothing to me. Certainly, based on the appearance of this print, it would be reasonable to conclude that the victim was not in the company of anyone else. Arg. This doesn't make any sense. The court will add this new photographic evidence to the record. The photographic print of the crime scene has been entered into the court record. I don't understand. What's going on here? But yeah, even in his flashback, it doesn't look like there's anything set at the table for her. There's no wine glass, there's no plate that you can see. I can't even see the vase of flowers. It's just not possible that nobody else saw that woman. The waiter before said the same thing. He maintains that Dr. Wilson came to the restaurant alone as well. But that's not true. I saw her. I swear that I saw a woman with him. It would seem that we'll be able to telegraph the report to Great Britain on time after all. The witness testimonies we have just heard leave no further room for doubt. These people are really bad at their jobs, huh? These are very sensitive political times, as we all know. The ink is still fresh on the treaty with Great Britain. To think that I, Taketsuchi Aochi, will have contributed to the amity of these two great empires is an honor. He's always such a bootlicker, it's so funny. Like, no matter which game he's in or which variant he is, he's just like supremo bootlicker, prosecutor, textbook. Not the pooping both. No. That's what happens when you just drink coffee at a Western restaurant, and then you murder somebody, and then you get hauled into court. How can this be happening? Hi, Silver. Thank you for the sub. And now this time I actually get to say it. Thank you for the sub. Silver Gaming. The judge is ready to rule. Stand tall, Ryunosuke. It's not over yet. He's so hot. What? If what you say is true, then there's something going on here behind the scenes. And now is your chance to expose it. Draw out the truth in your cross-examination. He's such a homie, yes. Okie dokie. We'll be here in court defending ourselves, I guess. I don't know, Kazuma. The defense is entitled to cross-examine the witnesses, but make it quick. Understood? Rules can be so unbending at times. Ugh. We can do this, Ryunosuke. We got this. The true culprit. Even if what I saw wasn't the precise moment the firearm was discharged, it's almost the same thing. Pointing his gun at the 4M man he was, blah 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 blah. Furthermore, a visual search of the premises at the time confirmed that there were only... Yeah. Well, obviously, that's not right, so...
Yes!
You must have noticed someone else at Dr. Wilson's table. There was a lady there.
Objection!
Objection! Why does he kind of sound like Rigby from the regular show? Does anybody else hear it? Or is it just me? Am I being crazy? He sounds like Rigby. As you have been at pains to point out time and again, I feel I'm growing a callus in my ear. Ew, that would be disgusting. And yet no one else appears to have caught even a glimpse of this woman. Ugh. If only there'd been more people dining there at the time, then someone else would have noticed her. Unfortunately, it was already past 2 p.m. when it happened. The quiet time between lunch and dinner in any restaurant. I know. Of course the place was almost empty. It's what you'd expect. Ouchie may be at the scene of the crime. Oh god. Can you imagine? Has there ever been a time when we actually convict one of the pain variants of a crime? I don't think so, right? We just embarrass them in court. Certainly, 2 p.m. is neither here nor there in terms of the time to eat. They should add that in the next game, so true. Can we finally put one of them behind bars and then never have to deal with them again? I wonder if there was a reason why the victim was eating at that time of day, and why he was alone. Yes, Your Excellency, there was indeed a reason. The bloodline must end. Just like the Uchihas. But they didn't let that happen. They let Sasuke procreate, so much for that. There was. This was found in the victim's jacket pocket. What is that, Counsel? It is a medical report card, Your Excellency. It was seen that the victim had an appointment at our clinic prior to visiting the restaurant. Hotel Clinic. Yes, there would appear to be an entry for the date in question. 19th November, noon to past 1 p.m. The very day of the incident. So the victim went for a late lunch following his appointment. The explanation couldn't be more simple. The prosecution felt no need to submit this evidence before, as it really had no bearing on the case. I wonder. What do you think, Ryunosuke? Huh? Well, it is hard to see how it could be related, really. Remember, you can request for it to be entered into the court record as evidence if you think it could be useful. Should I ask for Dr. Wilson's medical report card to be submitted as evidence or not? I feel like it's a wrong choice to say no to any sort of evidence that we can pore over, so...
Yes!
See, this is the one time the yes actually comes in handy. Yes! If I may, I'd like to ask for that medical report card to be submitted as evidence, Your Excellency. On what grounds? The court has already heard conclusive witness testimony. Additional evidence would be extraneous. Not to mention that the victim's movements prior to his arrival at the restaurant are of no concern. Well, I don't think that's true. Actually, I think that's very important.
Objection!
Thank you, Asogi. Whether or not they are of concern is up to us to decide. We have a right to explore all possible avenues. I beg your pardon? You have no authority to refuse a perfectly valid request for the submission of evidence. Yeah, you tell him. Very well. The court will grant the defense's request. Youngsters these days are forever asserting their rights. It's a most disturbing trend. Officer, kindly add the victim's medical report card to the court record. Yes. Now let's spy on it. What we need right now is new clues. Say no more. Somebody took a bite out of the steak. Wait. We don't see the knife in the other photo. I don't think. No, we don't. I know. It's like somebody picked it up and just chewed it with their bare hands. It's sparkling water? Well, now, wait a second. Why is the other picture, why does it actually have liquid in the glass and this one doesn't? Interesting. Interesting. Suspicious, indeed. Oh god, why do I keep doing that? Anyway. Oh, it won't let me examine it. No! That's why. Okay. We have to explore things from every possible angle, even if they don't seem relevant at first. Right, I hear you. You can conspire to prolong this trial as much as you like, but it's the day after the festival already for you. The day after the festival? Who the fuck says that? Or perhaps you'd forgotten that these witness testimonies leave no room for doubt. You said that before and the guy lied, so... You know, I think there is room for doubt. Feel free to reiterate for the accused, Korikuta-san. Bwah, 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 bwah. Well... Hydrate? Well, thank you. When I actually have to narrate a visual novel, my mouth does get really dry. So I'm glad I actually brought a drink down with me. It was so bad when I was narrating The House in Fata Morgana and I kept getting like dry, like right in my throat, and I kept having to cough. But that happens. I don't talk a lot on a regular basis, right? So when I have to narrate something for a stream, it everything just like dries up like the desert in there, and then it gets itchy.
Yes!
I kept having to mute my computers, or my microphone, so I could cough. No, it's not the same thing at all. For a start, I didn't fire that gun. We have a difference of opinion on that. The opinion of a uniformed officer versus that of a fledgling cadet. I don't think so. Consider this, defendant. Just a moment ago, I blinked. Did you? Did you see it? Did you see me blink? How could I? And yet, it is an undeniable fact that I did blink. So there you have it. What the fuck is this guy talking about? Have what? Tension? He uses his family like a drag queen. I mean, he very well could be. I don't imagine that lawyers paid that well back then because it was a new thing, apparently, according to the game, so... The sound of the firearm rang in my ears in the very next moment. I saw you, waving the gun at the Englishman. I think that says it all, don't you? I need this baby to lock in. Yeah. The way the baby bounces with his movements gets me every time, yeah. He's a very animated baby. And let us not forget that the antiques dealer witnessed the accused in this most incriminating position as well. Is that so, Korikuta-san? Did he fall asleep standing up?
Yes!
I'm hoping it's like the other games where if you keep pressing stuff, they'll eventually add something else. He tuned the fuck out to think about the coin. No, his forbidden coin that he lost, his Hoei-era treasure. Yes, it may be true that I was holding the gun at that point in time. But I told you already, that's only because I picked it up off the floor. Oh, thank God. I was starting to get worried. Well, obviously, as the culprit, that's the only way you could explain it away. I had just finished drinking my coffee and I was about to leave the restaurant when... You foolishly picked up the gun off the floor, which nobody should ever do. Wait, see, I think there's like liquid in the glass in this position as well. So why is it empty on the photo with the corpse? Suspicious! The Pringles. Somebody should edit the Pringles can onto his hand like they did with Edgeworth. And at exactly that moment, bang! A gunshot rang in my ears. Huh. Full of events beyond our control, life is... Sorry? What do you mean? In your case, you found a pistol on the floor and picked it up, which precipitated this testing predicament. Seriously, who let him have a freaking knife in court? And the court is full of military people too. That's crazy. Whereas conversely, I failed to pick up the koban from the floor and find myself in an equally testing predicament as a result. And a baby in the military. Anyway, the fact remains, myself I did see you. With pistol in hand, standing over the foreigner. Thank you for not going crazy. Furthermore, a visual search of the premises, blah blah blah. Wait, can we skip this part? Because we already talked about this part. Okay. I don't know what the skip button is for this game, so I'm not even gonna try pressing buttons because I'm scared I'm gonna end up closing something.
Yes!
So you actually saw that with your own eyes, did you? The victim, Dr. Wilson, dining alone, in orange text. That I did. Forgive me for the position I place you in. That doesn't sound right. How would he know? How would he know? He was busy crawling around on the floor. And he said he didn't even bother looking up when the gunshot rang. Because he didn't care about anything other than his freaking coin. You're a liar! So the testimonies of the old man, the soldier, and the waiter all agree on that point. Isn't that interesting? And let us not forget the incontestable evidence we have to support their statements as well. Okay, this bothers me. So he's sitting on the chair in front of the steak, right? And the label is facing us, the glass is facing, like, this way. The glass is in front of the bottle. And then when you see the CG of Ryunosuke when he's picking up the gun, the label is facing, like, backwards and the glass is behind, which means he's on the other side of the table. Like, and you can't see anything else. You don't see the body, you don't see, like, the plate or anything. So, he was on, like, the other side of the table. The rotating bottle mystery. What if it's not a rotating bottle, though? What if somebody turned the table around? I don't know why you would do that, but... stranger things have happened in Ace Attorney. But just... It's bothering me, because there's things that I'm trying to piece together visually, okay? Just bear with me. As I said, I'm not the smartest person when it comes to Ace Attorney for whatever reason. There is only a single beefsteak on the victim's table, a meal for one. You were thinking about that too when you were playing? Okay, so at least I'm not crazy. The antiques dealer, the sergeant, and the waiter who testified before. It's not impossible that they're all lying. They are clearly all lying. But if so, then why? If I'm perfectly honest, I have absolutely no idea. Therefore, none other than the black uniformed cadet could have dispatched the Englishman, which is wrong. Why aren't you telling the truth? What did you say, cadet? I clearly remember. There was a woman sitting across the table from the professor. Why the fuck you lying? Perhaps one of you might not have noticed. But for both of you to have failed to see the professor's dining companion, it's just not possible. See? They're guilty. They can't even look at us. They can't look us in the eye. Unfortunately for you, defended Naruhodo, it's not just a case of these two witnesses alone. Sorry? The waiter, whose testimony the court heard earlier, clearly stated the same thing. He also said that the victim was alone. Yeah, and he was also really weird about handing over the little drawing of the table layout that he drew on the back of his business card, and it won't let us turn around the business card. Let me see the other side of the business card. Why would the waiter lie when he's dying and doesn't have anything to lose? I don't know. You haven't missed much. Why did Binky shit on the floor? Why would she do that? Why would she do this to us? That's right. Precisely. In other words, you are the sole proponent of this phantom lady. But if such a woman were indeed present at the scene, the prosecution demands to see proof. Do we have proof? We must. We have to have proof. The whole courtroom is gaslighting you. I feel like that's par for the course, though. Nobody ever wants Phoenix or his ancestors or his progeny to succeed in the world. And if no such proof exists, the prosecution demands that no further mention of this phantom woman be made. It is a blatant waste of this court's time. For $1, name a woman? There's nothing I can say to that. I don't think that's how you spell her name, but sure. Yeah, close enough. Excellent work, Ryunosuke. We've gleaned some new information now. Well, yes, but I don't feel like it changes much. I can't see that it brings any real discrepancies to light. I wouldn't be so sure. Let me see that medical report card you got before. Oh, you mean this? Oh, so they wouldn't let me examine it because it had something to do with later on, aka now? They should just let me look at it. And then go crazy with theories and then get everything wrong. Yes, this is a brand new piece of evidence. So perhaps we should examine it in a little more detail. Let me flip over the business card, please. Because you knew that later we'd be able to examine it, but they said no, you can't do that right now. How exactly? You'll notice that some pieces of evidence bear a magnifying glass. Those are the ones you may examine. Press A, and you can look closer at the piece in question. Use, oh my god, right stick up, right stick left, right stick down, or right stick right. What the hell? Why are you only eating curry and rice? Eat something else. To rotate the evidence in all directions and examine it from all angles. Can we flip the business card over now? By using left stick. So then stop complaining. You can move the crosshairs around to hunt for clues that may have been missed before. Curry and rice is a goated meal. If the crosshairs start to pulsate, press A to investigate further. So, partner, I think you should take a closer look at this medical report card. See if there isn't something new to be learned by examining it in more detail. Alright, I'll see what I can do. Oh god. Medical report card required for every visit. It's pulsating! Oh cute! Look at their little sprites. It says Hota Clinic on this medical report card. I hate clinics almost as much as I hate hospitals and surgeries. Aren't they all the same? When I was 5, I caught the only cold I've ever had in my life. And I remember, even though I felt awful already, I had to have this hideous injection in my right arm. Brr, I'll never forget it. Never in my whole life. Most people would give their right arm to have had only one cold in their whole life. Anyway, I don't think this is a clinic where they treat people for illnesses like that. Let's keep looking for clues. We don't want to miss anything. Wah 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 wah. You can flip it over. Yeah. I love rotating evidence like this. It's like one of my favorite things to do. Dentist? Stop! He went to the dentist? What if he had work done and then that means he couldn't chew the steak? So who the fuck ordered the steak and was eating the steak? So the thing about the table turning around, I might have been onto something. Anyway, okay, I shouldn't get too heated about it. It looks like this medical report card was issued some time ago. It's probably a record of a long-term treatment, that's why. With a family doctor, I imagine. Well, I can't imagine. Going to a doctor, I mean. As long as I'm alive, I'm never consulting one. Well, if you were dead, there'd be no point. So, You don't like doctors then. Why would you? They make you drink horrible tasting medicine, they give you painful injections, and then they demand lots of money from you for the privilege, all when you're at your lowest ebb. You sound like a model patient, with a bad case of stubbornness no less, for which the only cure is very bitter medicine indeed. I kept wondering like what the hell was popping up here, but it's just achievements, it seems like. Let's have a look. This is some kind of medical history. Ah, and there's an entry for the day the professor was killed. Extraction of molar with topical anesthesia. So there is no way he could have chewed the steak! I was right! How the hell was I right about that? That was so stupid. Extraction of molar? You mean he had a tooth taken out? You forgot this plot point? It would seem so. Just before the incident, he had had a bad tooth removed. Perhaps they used laughing gas. That's the most modern practice in the West for pain relief. Yes, I've heard of this. Anesthesia. Although it's hard to believe there's anything that can actually stop you feeling pain. Ah, there's a cautionary note from the medical practitioner as well. Strictly no food or drink besides water for 3 hours post-procedure until anesthetic effects have passed. Stop! I was right! Get the fuck out. Really? Sounds like information worth bearing in mind. The medical report card's information has been updated in the court record. With this new information, the meaning of that one particular statement totally changes. So I think it's time we listen to the testimony again, don't you? This is so much easier to predict than Despera drops, because honestly, I had no idea what the fuck was happening in that game, and I'm on like chapter 14 of Hamiel's Route. I still don't know what the fuck is happening. I mean, I do, but also it's crazy. And the fucking plot twist, okay, I told you about this earlier, it's so stupid. I'm just gonna do a little tangent though. It's so you go into this guy's route, and the main character is like a half Japanese woman raised in Japan, and she's going to school in Italy, and you get into all this shit, and then you meet this guy, and this is the guy that I'm trying to romance because I have like no earthly interest in his design, his attitude, his character, etc. So I try to get those ones out of the way first if there's not like, I guess, more major plot reveals, and it didn't look like there was, so it was safe to do his first. Anyway, so you go through the game, and then you basically find out he's like super racist towards Japanese women, and like specifically targets them for fraud purposes, like to swindle like Japanese tourists, and I guess he steals their money and shit like that. Anyway, and then you go, this is a spoiler, so if you're like obviously planning on playing the game, don't listen to me right now, but then I'm like in the chapter like 13 or something, I'm already in his route at this point, and then he drops the bombshell that he's fucking half Japanese, and the reason he hates Japanese people is because his mother abandoned him, quote unquote. It is so freaking crazy. I was like, what the fuck? Like, the call was coming from inside the house. But like, yeah, that was like, I don't even know what to say to it. It's just, it was a crazy plot point, because it would have been crazy if they just left him to romance this half Japanese woman when he hates Japanese people. It's like, why would you put this in a romance game? Like, what could you possibly be interested in? Both ways for both of these characters. I don't understand how a romance can blossom from something like that. It's still weird, even with him being half Japanese himself. It's just fucking weird. Otome is like this all the time, but sometimes it even shocks me. So that's what I've been going through on my own time. And I've also been suffering through Night Rain. Fuck Elden Ring Night Rain. I'm just suffering with all the games I'm playing recently. Everything sucks. Everything's awful. Oh god. Sorry, I'm trying to like read chat here, but it won't let me like scroll up. Let me scroll up, please. Okay. Hold on. Touch of racism? Yeah, I know. I won't say anything more on the matter. It's just freaking crazy. Oh my god, can I please just get part of my scroll bar? Oh my god, hold on. This is what happens when I don't change the battery in my mouse. What the hell? Why did this happen? No, I put you on blast, I'm sorry. Oh my god. Okay, remove that, thank you. I know, I'm sorry. Your cameo. You're already on screen. You're on my text chat window thing. Sorry. That was just... I'm trying to scroll down and it will only let me like drag your message and then it put you on screen. I'm sorry. Sorry, I had to yawn. Okay. Okay, which one do we present on? Hi mom, I'm on TV. Hi. But anyway, yeah, that's only my first route into Sparadrops and I'm thankfully almost done. So I'll get to move on to other people soon enough. And I have a feeling about the issues with some of the other characters. But there are some that I really don't want to like put off until later, even though it's recommended that I do that. Like, I'm sorry, I really don't want to date like Camu like third last. I would rather do his route like almost right after Hamiel's, so because I'm not interested in him. He's so greasy looking and he looks like a Michael Jackson impersonator. Like, you can just tell visually sometimes when a character's not going to be your type. And I could tell by looking at him, I'm like, no, I bet you're like greasy as fuck. So I wanted to do his first, and also because I heard that his route was a little bit weird, and I can see why now, being almost finished with it. Like, yeah, this is not something that I would typically think of putting into a romance game where you fall in love with the person who's racist towards you, even if he's also half Japanese. That's so fucking weird. I'm glad I'll be done with it, but it was kind of fun just for the shock value, I suppose, and I can tell all of you about it. Who put Michael Jackson in the freezer? I don't know, but yeah, that's my little gossip on what I'm playing at the moment. Ah, wait, this one. Because he was not alone. You're actually excited for Jib? Yeah, I know. Jibriel, my German beloved. Oh. I'm surprised he was actually recommended to do, like, relatively early on. I kind of wanted to leave him for later, but we'll see. Well, I'll figure it out after I finish Hamiel. So...
Yes!
Oh, trust me, you guys will hear the gossip later in DMs. Because I love just dropping random info about games I'm playing on you guys. In the heat of the moment. No, don't! That was so cringe. Why do you get the weirdest ads? How is that even an ad? What was it advertising again? That was so weird. But what are you wittering, lad? Call yourself a lawyer? I wish I could, but first and foremost here, I'm the accused. Ryunosuke. Everyone stumbles on their words occasionally. Under the circumstances, I wouldn't worry about it. Thanks, Kazuma. I could see it quite clearly in that cross-examination you just carried out. When you raised your hand straight up like that, so purposefully. Yeah, that's true. Your Turkish government really blocks out all the weird shit for you, huh? Lucky you. But don't they also block Discord and stuff? So don't they kind of overdo it? And if I was gambling, you wouldn't be able to come watch the stream. So I guess in other words, the next stream's gonna be gambling? No, I'm kidding. You knew exactly what it was you wanted to say. Don't feel like you have to choose your words carefully. Just say what you're thinking. All right. And thanks for the advice. Korikuta-san, this is a medical report card belonging to the victim. Ah, I see. And I don't see. What of it, boy? Comparing what is written on this report card with your witness statement, something clearly doesn't add up.
Attention!
Dear me, dear me. Have you forgotten my words so soon, you amateur? Sorry, what? You are not to interrupt court proceedings with your amateur's drivel. But let's see if I can explain it in words you might understand. It was after 2 p.m. in the afternoon when the victim was murdered at the restaurant. Whatever he may or may not have done before that time is completely irrelevant. Except it's not. I mean, I don't know how long it's been banned in your country because it's not banned in mine. I don't keep track of stuff like that. Grr. But that's, Remember, Ryunosuke, you don't have to use clever language or fancy words. Just make your point. Your Excellency, I believe we're finished here. There is surely no need to prolong this trial further. The witness testimonies the court has heard have been clear and concise. Except they haven't, but sure. This medical report card has no bearing on the matter at all, for the simple reason that there is no one else besides this pale-faced pupil, and I couldn't finish reading that. This medical report card has nothing to do with the case? Do you really believe that? What? That outburst have petrified me, boy! Of course I believe it. How could it possibly be relevant? Perhaps because Hote Clinic, which issued the report card, is a dental clinic. A dental clinic? Is that supposed to mean something to me? Perhaps if I told you that the victim had just had a tooth extracted? What's this now? And furthermore, if I told you that as a result, the victim had been forbidden from eating. Just what are you trying to say, cadet? He had orders not to eat? So what? It's all written up here. No food or drink other than water for 3 hours post-procedure while anesthesia wears off. Apparently this clinic is an Ace Attorney too. Oh, is it the one with that weird old man? Yeah, I had a feeling it sounded familiar. I can hear his theme in my head too. What? No, that can't. Korikuta-san. What, boy? What? As you just heard, when he was killed, sometime shortly after 2 p.m., the victim couldn't have been eating anything at all. No. Additionally, there's more? You have assured the court with unwavering self-confidence that the victim was dining alone. Oh. He finally didn't get a wet slap sound effect. He got the heavy thud. Yes, that's our boy! But that can't possibly be the case. Grr. Because the victim, as we now know, had just had one of his teeth extracted and was still experiencing the effects of anesthetic. The wet slap to heavy thud pipeline, so true. Expertly done, partner. Oh, the court mumbles back. Missed that. It's so crazy. What is this nonsense, you little upstart? These are baseless accusations. Just look at the photographic evidence. You can clearly see that the plate of food at the victim's table.
Objection!
See vipers for guys who say smexy? What the hell? The bite of 87? Use your head. That's the very discrepancy we're talking about. Or can't you follow the logic? How dare you? I think it's fair to say that the tables in this restaurant case have turned. Wouldn't you agree, Ryunosuke? Stop! That's literally what I said happened! That's crazy! Yes, most definitely. So having just undergone some dental surgery, the victim was unable to eat. Which leaves one very crucial conundrum. Who the fuck took a chomp out of that steak? Who, in fact, was eating the pictured beef steak? The court will hear the opinion of the defense on this new puzzle. I assume you're ready, counsel? Counsel? Oh, that means me, doesn't it? Alright, the answer to this question is going to be pivotal. This is the start of you turning this trial around. Show them what you're made of. Got it. So, the person eating the steak at the victim's table must have been the victim himself, me, the two witnesses, an as yet unknown third party. I assume it would be this. Because it obviously wasn't these two, and it obviously wasn't him or the victim, so it's our unidentified lady. Obviously, it could only have been someone else who was sitting at the professor's table.
Objection!
You will not let this go, will you? There was no such person.
Yes!
There was, because I saw her. When the incident occurred, we know that the victim couldn't have been eating anything, yet we have evidence of a half-eaten steak on his table. Therefore, the only logical conclusion is that there was somebody else there eating it. Erg. We have strong evidence to support our assertion. It's clear that these witness testimonies are unreliable. If the court decides to push through a ruling at this stage, we will lodge a formal complaint with the Ministry of Justice and pursue a fair retrial. Relentlessly. Kazuma, are you insane? You would take on the government? Don't worry, counsel. I have no issue with you. What do you mean? I have issue with them. Those two witnesses in the stand. What? What are you talking about? We have demonstrated with evidence that the victim was not alone. So, if it now turns out that the two of you deliberately lied when giving your testimonies, obviously you will be charged with perjury. Perjury? And, since this is a murder trial, you will also be deemed complicit in the killing. Complicit in murder? No! Nobody gets charged with perjury in this game, that's true. And they really should be. Negative! There was no mention of this at the tactical meeting. I was just following orders. That's right, as the man says. Just say you never saw the gentlewoman. That's what they... Oh, shit. Cat's out of the bag. Oh. What? What did you just say, Korikuta-san? Oh, no. You were just following orders? Now hold on, lad. I was, old man snitching, hashtag where's my coin? I see that, hydrate, thank you, Prince Anime. Say you never saw the gentlewoman. Your worst fear. Top 5, come on. What a weird fear to have. When you say gentlewoman, do you mean you saw the victim with a lady from overseas? What?
Objection!
What is the meaning of all this? These witnesses gave false statements. Is this true, you pair? Just one simple slip of the tongue. Dun dun dun. Is Ouchie dumb? I think so. Order, council, explain what's going on here. It's painfully clear now. You tried to prevent these witnesses from telling the truth. How could he not know they're lying? I don't fucking know. Absolutely not. The prosecution knows nothing of this. Then who's behind this? Who tried to make you keep your mouth shut? Well, was it the waiter? I have a feeling it was the waiter. That's classified. So you're prepared to be tried as a conspirator to this murder, are you? You wouldn't. This can't be happening. Ryunosuke, judging from the way they're reacting to this, I'd say they were sworn to silence by someone with considerable influence. However, I don't believe Ouchie had any idea about it. What are you saying? I mean, to wield that kind of influence, there are only a handful of possibilities. It could only have been the government, the military, or the police, I suppose. Well, any ideas about who might be behind this? If we can affirm who tried to silence these witnesses, then we can continue our pursuit. So we need to name whoever it was that tried to keep the witnesses, or tried to make the witnesses keep their mouths shut. Of course, we'll need evidence before we make any firm accusations. Evidence that proves whoever it was really did wield his or her power over here. But how? How can we possibly? Remember how we made progress before? We examined this piece of evidence in more detail and found a new clue as a result. Do I get to flip over the business card now? Is he gonna be like Shelley the Killer's Japanese ancestor? Well, that's not the only piece of evidence we have, is it? We need to re-examine everything and make sure there's nothing we've missed. There's no time to lose. I want answers. If it's proven that these witnesses have been manipulated, I assure you the penalty will be severe. Please, wait, Your Excellency. I had no idea about any of this. I swear to every Shinto god. I knew nothing. And what does the defense have to say about all this, well, Your Excellency. Ugh, no time to think. This plan of the restaurant raises a number of questions, I think. Definitely. It's supposed to show the relative position of everything in the moments following the incident. But there's nothing to show the woman you say you saw there. Exactly. And that's not all. Look here in the upper left where it says kitchen. Oh yes, what of it? No one would use those complicated characters to write kitchen, especially not if they were in a hurry. You mean you don't remember those characters yourself, don't you? Study harder, Ryunosuke. Oh my god. Not only does he suck at English, but he can't even read kanji. This guy's a flop in every area. It's so funny. Chief Inspector Satoru Hosonaga, Primary Criminal Investigation Division, Imperial Police Bureau? What? He's a cop! No wonder he's corrupt. Well, that's unexpected. What is? Look, do you see it says the witness's name here? Satoru Hosonaga. Well, yes, business cards do tend to show the person's name. That's sort of the point. It's not the name that's unexpected. It's his job title. His job? Oh! Chief Inspector Satoru Hosonaga, Primary Criminal Investigation Division, Imperial Police Bureau. Inspector? What on earth? Well, Ryunosuke did say the police might be able to cover this up. Dun dun dun. The pieces are puzzling. But let's face it, the police have a lot of power and influence, if they're wielding it somehow here. The waiter's business card information has been updated in the court record. Womp 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 womp. I don't think I have to look at anything else over here, so... I'm just going to have to close my eyes and shout out the first name that comes into my head. Besides the prosecution, the only person with the necessary influence to manipulate the witness is this asshole right here. He's only 29? Why does he look so old?
Yes!
Well, surely that would be Satoru Hosonaga-san. Hosonaga-san? The waiter who took the stand earlier?
Attention!
Poppycock. What possible reason would the waiter have to make these witnesses give false testimony? Not to mention the fact that even a head waiter could not possibly have that level of influence. For once, I would agree with you. If that is, the man if the man truly were a waiter. What? If he truly were? Come on, Ryunosuke. Time to hit this court with the truth. The truth about Satoru Hosonaga-san's real identity, as proven by this evidence.
Yes!
The plan of the restaurant sketched by the man in question. I agree it shows a great deal of attention to detail, but I'm not sure we can conclude anything. Sorry, Your Excellency. That's the back of the card. It's the back of the card that's of interest. I beg your pardon? Or perhaps I should have said the front? Yes, it's the front of the back of the card. That's where the telling detail is. Oh my god. Would somebody please explain what this overexcited student is trying to say? Hosonaga-san sketched the plan of the restaurant on the reverse side of his business card. The front of that business card reveals the man in question's profession, his true profession. The waiter's profession? But that's surely... Good gracious! That's right, Your Excellency. The card reads, Chief Inspector, Primary Criminal Investigation Division, Imperial Police Bureau. What? The waiter is a police detective? I haven't heard any mention of this before. Why haven't I heard any mention of this before? The Imperial Police Bureau has immense power, absolute power, as far as regular civilians are concerned. So, witnesses there in the stand. Was it in fact the waiter who gave you your orders? Was it he who told you not to mention that you'd seen this foreign gentlewoman at the scene? Well... Oh no! Inspector Hosonaga! And the freaking crazy pipe organ theme? I was worried something like this may happen. The moment you asked me to submit my sketch as evidence, I realized it was a possibility. The court will take this plan and add it into the court record as evidence. Oh, well... Is there a problem? Hand the plan to the court officer at once. You knew. Of course. Here you are. Yes, I remember now. He did act strangely when the judge asked him to hand over his business card. I strive to carry out all investigations flawlessly. It's my guiding principle. But I let myself be distracted when I made that sketch. It was an unusually careless mistake. So, you mean to say, you really are a detective? But why would a detective be working as a restaurant waiter? Of course, your salary must be terrible. My fucking god. I was working undercover. Undercover? Yes, there have been a series of incidents at the restaurant recently. In order to investigate, I decided to get a job there as a waiter, working undercover. Incidents at the restaurant? What kind of incidents? That would be classified police information which I am not at liberty to divulge. However, I can state categorically that they are unrelated to this case of homicide. Very well then, Inspector Hosonaga, but you will elaborate on one point for the court. Of course, Your Excellency. We have just heard new information from the two witnesses beside you. That at the time of the shooting, there was in fact another person present at the victim's table. If that is indeed true, clearly you would have also been aware of this person's presence, having served at the table in question. However, your testimony did not allude to this other diner, therefore I am led to assume that in your professional capacity as a police officer, you required these witnesses to be in agreement. Would that be correct? Oh god. Correct, Your Excellency. Unbelievable! As I suspected. As soon as I heard the gunshot, I ran out of the kitchen to see what had happened. The victim sat slumped in his chair, and beside him, gun in hand, stood the accused student. Sitting opposite the victim at the same table was a young lady whom I guessed to be an Englishwoman. So the truth comes out. I immediately sealed off the restaurant and reported the incident to the bureau. It was then that I received some special orders. Special orders? You mean to say, remove the Englishwoman from the scene at once. It was made clear that the Englishwoman's presence at the restaurant was to be concealed. Those were my orders. But what if this Englishwoman was the killer? I think it would be in everyone's best interests not to pursue that idea. The Empire views the friendly terms of its relationship with Britain more highly than anything at the moment. An Englishman has been murdered on our soil. To name an Englishwoman as the primary suspect. Bro, who gives a fuck? Well, without irrefutable evidence, that would be completely out of the question. Cops are so fucking crooked, man. Who gives a rat's ass? Sorry, I'm looking for my slippers to put back on. Like, it really got no integrity whatsoever. So that's the reason for the disappearance of the Phantom Woman in this case. But it's not right. One possibility does spring to mind. What do you mean, Kazuma? Yume University is currently hosting a number of exchange students from Great Britain, and I'm fairly certain that one of them, studying in the medical faculty's research laboratory, is a young Englishwoman. What? You're a shrewd man. I can see why you're the chosen candidate for the overseas study tour. You mean, when I removed the woman from the scene of the crime, I thought it prudent to check her identity first. Then the court demands that you name the lady in question at once, Inspector. The Englishwoman sitting at the university professor's table was a certain Miss Giselle Brett? That's quite a name. She is indeed a foreign student studying in the research laboratory at Yume University's medical faculty. What is happening here? I admit that under orders from the police bureau, I erased all evidence of this lady's presence at the scene, and ordered these witnesses to make no further mention of her in their testimonies. It must now be up to your excellency to decide how to deal with this situation. He should go to jail for the rest of his days, that's true. You should go to jail for twice as long as if you commit a crime when you're a cop. Just stale bread. Very well. My thoughts on the matter are as follows. Thus far, the case presented to the court has been underpinned by a particularly critical premise. Namely, that the victim was dining alone. However, as we have now discovered that this premise is false, it would be a desecration of our justice system to ignore the truth and give a ruling at this point. But, Your Excellency, that would mean missing the noon deadline of a ruling in order to send the telegraphic report to Great Britain. Gives a fuck. Our own government will surely be very displeased by such actions. Calm yourself, Council. I will not allow the government of our country or any other to influence the proceedings of my courtroom. Ugh. Inspector Hosonaga. Yes, sir? You will locate this Giselle Brett and escort her to the courtroom with the utmost urgency. At once, Your Excellency. But that means you'll be going against the special orders you were given from the police bureau. As I said before, it is my guiding principle to carry out all investigations flawlessly. So it won't be a problem? Oh my fucking god. Oh, thank god he didn't do it on repeat this time. Oh my god. Nothing will get in my way. He's kind of cute, but he's also very crooked. He's just weird. Hero. Yeah, he is cute. He shouldn't have listened to his superiors, though. He should have hauled her ass into jail, like, immediately. Court will adjourn briefly. The prosecution must call the English student Giselle Brett to the stand. Blah, blah, blah. Do I make myself clear? Yes. Your Excellency! Good. Then we will have a 30-minute recess before reconvening. That's crazy that they're doing like a 2-part trial on a first case. Oh, to be continued? No! Never mind. Save my current progress. Yeah. Yeah. I was gonna say, like, we're probably gonna end stream when I finish this case, but I kind of don't want to sit down here anymore. We're almost at 3 hours. I think you should go to bed, but whatever you want, Silver. I think I'll probably leave it here for now. Yeah. Because otherwise, I'm probably gonna get a dry throat and start coughing like Mr. Hosonaga and coughing up blood. And we don't want that to happen because I'll have to be pausing reading like every 2 minutes. So yeah, I need to stretch my legs. I want to go back upstairs. And I gotta finish my stupid route in Despera drops, and then I'll tell you guys all about it later. I gotta finish it. I'm so close to the end, and then I can move on. It was funny. Thank you so much for getting this for me, Noah. Compared to everything else I've been playing, this was like a lot of fun. So I'm glad. I'm glad we could do this tonight. Yeah, because then later, after I finish the drops, I'm probably gonna go on Elden Ring Night Rain and then continue to have a shitty, like, lose streak. I'm doing so bad in that game, it's almost comical. You're shaking like a leaf out of laughter. That's true. I mean, it's not even that late for me here, but I assume it's like pretty early for you since you're like 8 hours ahead of me. So if you're gonna eat, yeah, you should probably just like eat and go lie down. But yay. Thank you guys for coming and hanging out for a bit and laughing with me over this ridiculous fucking game. And curse Asogi for being so freaking handsome. I can't stand him. So I'm gonna have to like put a little post-it over my laptop so I don't have to look at him. You're welcome. Thank you guys. I hope you have a good rest of your Monday or Tuesday in Silver's case. And hopefully I will see you again this week and we can finish this case. And then maybe, just maybe, you'll see me on Saturday for something new. So look forward to it. All right. Good night, you guys. I love you all. Bye bye.